All right, man, we back. Lions lose 27-23. Let's talk about it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Appreciate the love, support. And yeah, it's a lot to talk about. Let's go over the stats real quick. Don't forget, check out our Lions reaction playlist. I have a live reaction playlist tomorrow morning. And pretty much how it went. That is Miles barking. Trubisky was 20 for 36 for 242 yards, 3 TDs. Let's go over the stats. David Montgomery had 13 touches out the backfield for 64 yards. Tyreek Cohen had 7 touches out the backfield, 41 yards. Trubisky had 3 for 26. Cordell Patterson had 4 for 19. Allen Robinson had 1 for -1. Anthony Miller, who made a tremendous catch for the second year in a row versus us, 4 catches, 76 yards, 1 TD. Allen Robinson, 5 catches, 74 yards. Darnell Mooney, the rookie out of Tulane, 3 catches, 38 yards. Sam like more than that. Jimmy Graham, 3 catches, 25 yards. Cordell Patterson, 1 catch, 12 yards. And nothing really meaningful after that. And then when you look at the Lions stats, really quick, Stafford was 24 for 42, 297, 1 TD, 1 interception. Adrian Peterson, 14 carries, 93 yards, no touchdown. Stafford was our second leading rusher, 5 carries, 23 yards. Kerryon was 7 carries, 14 yards, terrible. DeAndre Swift, 3 touches, 8 yards. Amendola, 5 catches, 81. Hockenson, 5 catches, 56, 1 TD. Marvin Jones, he was 4 catches, 55 yards. Wintez Cephas was 3 catches, 43 yards. Marvin Hall had 1 catch, 26. Peterson had 3 out the backfield catches, 21 yards. And DeAndre Swift had 3 catches and 15 yards. So, I mean, if you missed the game, they exchanged field goals in the first half for the most part. The Bears looked like they came out moving with confidence. I think they struck first. Then the Lions end up getting the field goal in the first quarter as well too. Bears get the field goal in the second quarter. Then the Lions put up a field goal and a touchdown. They picked up the pace, and I think they're a better offense when they pick up the pace and run no huddle or just run with a faster pace. Because when they got the defense on the heels, they're able to score a lot better. And I just think that's the case. I just don't understand over the years through Scott Linehan, Joe Lombardi, who else we had, Jim Bob Cooter, not Darrell Bevel, why we don't pick up the pace and run with better pace. Stafford is better when the offense is in semi no huddle or no huddle situations. But they didn't. Well, at the end of the half, they came through and they picked up the pace a lot. They hit, I think, in that last drive in the first half, they picked up a corner route to Hockenson. I think maybe Swift ran it in. I know Hockenson ended up scoring either after before the half or in the second half. I can't remember at this point. But I know Swift ran the ball in between the tackles, and Hockenson ended up boxing somebody out. I think it was Trevathan. Couldn't remember who it was. Eddie Jackson, Gibson, excuse me. He boxed him out in the second half. And they came out hot, and it just seemed like the Lions could never string together quarters or a whole game where they play great offense. It's either they hot, they cold, they come from behind, they get hot. And, for the most part today, man, my concerns is still the same concerns that it was last year. The running game. Adrian Peterson, can he run hot at 34, 35 years old all season? I think not. Kerryon Johnson showed me no reason why he should have made this roster. I'm sorry. Today he was terrible. But I do think on a positive note, I think the Lions found out that they run better with a fullback, and them trying to run out the shotgun and trying to run out the single backfield, it don't work. The fullback, whoever the guy was today, he did an amazing job blocking, sealing the backside, leading the running back in the hole, and he was the difference today in the running game. I think the difference was using the fullback, and Adrian Peterson is comfortable using the fullback, and he showed that he still got some shifty moves. So I don't know how many times Kerryon ran behind the fullback, but they usually like to run him out the single back or out the shotgun. That doesn't work for him. The majority of the Lions plays when in the running the game should be behind the fullback. Maybe weak eye, strong eye, split back, full house. The Lions should religiously and vigorously, always, not vigorously, bad word, not always run the ball behind the fullback. That's the difference. Pulling, the single back thing, a fullback is right. Even O.J. Simpson said on his Twitter page that Saquon Barkley is better with a fullback. And if it's good enough for the old school timers like, Tom Landry and Vince Lombardi, it should be good enough for the guys today. The Lions have to commit to running behind the fullback. They got a really good fullback. He showed why he made the team this year. He sealed the backside off of AP. He led the way. That fullback is the truth that we got. You know what I'm saying? And they need to use him full time. Even if they run out of shotgun, use him to kind of, seal off the backside or something of that nature. But I got to stress this to Muff. enough. When the Lions ran behind the fullback, the Lions had their most success they had in years in the running game. I mean, T.J. Hockenson looked pretty good, in the times of distress or coming down in a no huddle in the end of the second half. Darrell Bevell found a way to use him. You know what I'm saying? Before that, he wasn't even looking to get him the ball. Excuse me. Stretch my neck. He wasn't looking to get him the ball at all until I guess somebody told him or whatever it was. He had a great matchup versus Trevathan and those safeties today. And Darrell Bevell did not design the game plan where to abuse him. I didn't even see Jesse James out there today. Maybe I blinked and missed him. Once again, Darrell Bevell is showing kind of his limitations. He's limited at getting the ball out the backfield to the running backs. He's limited with using tight ends. You know what I'm saying? They should have used Hockenson a lot more. They only used him in times of distress, like going down the field at the end of the first half and getting the score. They did not use him to the best of his ability. Danny Amendola made some huge catches today, but of all the things I was most impressed with was the fullback, leading the running game. Adrian Peterson and Hockenson was very, very impressive today. His ability to just dog linebackers and tight ends, but they just didn't use him enough. Other things I like today, the defense. I like the defense was changing their looks up today. They were showing some pressure early on. They were showing some zone. They did some man coverage today. They didn't seem to stop the run as good as I needed them to see to stop the run. They kind of made that adjustment as they went a little bit and stopped getting gashed by Cordell Patterson and by Cohen and by David Montgomery. But at the end of the day, the defense, even when they did bring pressure today, it just didn't look natural. They didn't have the speed to contain Trubisky. All their cornerbacks was injured damn near today. Walker made some plays out there. He missed a pick where he could have caught, what he could have jumped up when he in the pocket and he missed it. But other than that, one thing you notice about the Lions, the team speed ain't that good. See Trey Flowers trying to rush out there like he running in sand trying to get Trubisky. How Trubisky's able to run around and our pass rushers can't get him down. On offense, when Stafford need to go down the field, he don't really have a guy other than Hall and Agnew that could really stretch the field that need to be stretched. And obviously Stafford threw a pick. He tried to force the ball in to Marvin Jones. They knew exactly where the ball was going. He made a predetermined decision to force the ball into Marvin Jones. It got picked. It came up. They came down with it. And that was kind of the momentum changer. It seemed like when the pressure is on the Detroit Lions offense to maintain the lead, or be in a competitive ball game, it just seemed like Matthew Stafford always folds in those situations. Now, if it's situations where he coming from behind and he ain't supposed to win the game, then he thrives when he's the underdog. When Stafford is the favorite and he's supposed to go in there and prove a point and win the game, he don't seem to be as successful, in my opinion. So when the chips on the floor with Matthew Stafford, it just seemed like when it really count, it just seemed like he can't get the job done. Now, we can talk about Jamie Collins as well, too. Jamie Collins, in my opinion, just, he made a boneheaded mistake. And obviously, he one of our best defensive players out there. And he tried to show the referee that Montgomery was leading with his head. And a couple years ago, the NFL changed that rule where you can't lead with the crown of your helmet as a running back. And he leaned with the crown of his helmet and hit the referee in his sternum. And, for the most part, you can't do that. They ejected him out the game. And, I just start over. I apologize to start over, but dog came down here. But, it just seemed like, Jamie Collins he hurt us with that getting ejected by hitting the referee, man. He's an important part of the game, and maybe, with him leaving, the defense slipped a little bit more, but they did make adjustments. We lost Jamie Collins. We lost Desmond Trufant. We lost Justin Coleman to hamstrings and Trufant to a hamstring. And soft tissue injuries happen when you're trying to rush back and you don't ease your way into camp. And without many camps of OTAs, you see Mike Evans and other players around the league having hamstring issues, man. But, Collins just made a boneheaded play. That remind me of when we got Anquan Bolden and we made it to that Seattle game. And he got that, personal foul or misconduct penalty too. And we just melted down in Seattle in the playoffs. A guy who had high character, throughout his NFL career in Anquan Bolden, all of a sudden melts down with the Lions. Jamie Collins, our prize free agent, melted down with the Lions. We just can't get a break. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate that a lot of the guys get here and they just somehow, it's like this Bermuda Triangle, zone where guys get here and they just make boneheaded plays and just make a lot of bad penalties. But the cornerbacks were dropping like flies today, man. Early on, they was having some issues, just some missed throws by Trubisky that helped them out, some personal foul issues, but they started to seem to kind of find what Chicago like to do. And Chicago got two good receivers in Miller and Allen Robinson from Detroit. He didn't get in the end zone today, so that was good. But Jimmy Graham made a great play in the red zone. That's kind of what I want to point out. I think they scored their first touchdown there. When Patricia called the timeout, and it was the second half, he called the timeout to only get burned by the same formation the very next play. So what was the point of having a timeout? We could have had that timeout down the stretch of the game. You knew that they was going to come out with the same look. They was trying to get Walker one-on-one with Jimmy Graham, and he calls the timeout, and then they come out and they basically do pitch and catch over Tracy Walker. So why didn't you, draw something up where, you could have gave Walker some help no matter what formation they was in. That was just a waste of a timeout in my opinion. But to get in the second half, Detroit went into, back foot defense, prevent defense. Trubisky just tore him up. He was exposed Tony McRae down the field. He exposing the corners down the field. They liked that matchup. And pretty much they just came back. You know what I'm saying? This bum just keep burning the Lions and Patricia. Today, Euland called the defense. He burnt them down the stretch. They got pressure on him. They couldn't bring him down. He broke the pocket. He rolled out. He did a lot of different things. And, Trey Flowers, once again, he got injured. But, what did he bring to the table, bruh? He had 1 sack today. And that was the only sack we had today. Once again, we got pressure on Trubisky at times. But Trubisky can sit in the pocket and think all he want when he played the Patriots and the Matt Patricia. We beat them before, Patricia got here like 3 straight years. And all of a sudden, this dude come out here and he keeps lighting Patricia up. Or Euland up this year. Because he got all time to think. This team, once again, don't have no interior pass rush. I don't know what Deshaun Hand was doing today. He only registered 1 tackle. Was no pass rush up front. And when they did rush him, they was too slow to bring down Trubisky. They still don't have a pass rush. They still have trouble stopping the run. In Green Bay today, when I last looked, they were steamrolling over Minnesota. So we play them next week. I think in Green Bay. So, the Collins thing was crazy. But what's crazy about the game is this was like seeing the same thing down the stretch versus the Arizona Cardinals last year. Cardinals. But, the elephant in the room people want to talk about was the wheel route. It looked like at the end of the game, DeAndre Swift had the game in his hands, and he just dropped the ball. No hit, no nothing. I don't know if he was trying to make sure he was in bounds. He lost concentration. He caught it, then he dropped it, and just no matter who put that Honolulu blue uniform on, it's just like they begin to be cursed. It was a perfect throw by Stafford. He held the ball. He caught it. He had his feet down. And then he just mystically dropped the ball. And now once again, he going to start getting them Ebron vibes for dropping the ball. Now people about to question why was he even in the game, if he didn't get enough touches in training camp. Why wasn't that Kerryon? Why wasn't that Adrian Peterson getting the ball? Did Todd Johnson even get in the game today? You know what I'm saying? That's what you want to ask yourself. Why wasn't Ty out there catching that ball? Rookie DeAndre Swift had the ball right in his hands and dropped the game. I was like, we won this. Bam. And he dropped it. And I just couldn't believe it. I'm not even angry. He a rookie. When you've been a Lions fan this long, you got patience. I got a lot of patience, and hopefully he don't let that define his career. But like I said before, it shouldn't have came down to that one play. They up 23-6. You know what I'm saying? And once again, they can't manufacture a drive that put points on the board. They scored way too many field goals this game. But one thing they did figure out was that if we run behind a fullback, we can have some success. But Collins and Swift today just, terrible plays, terrible incidents. They did a good job on pretty much doing a good job on Khalil Mack. They game playing well for him. But you got to remember, Adrian Peterson can't carry this team for 16 games on the running game. If Kerryon not gonna play good, man, I just don't know what to say. You're gonna have to really count on DeAndre Swift to run in between those tackles and get it off the muscle. But, they did do well versus Khalil Mack today. Did they miss Kenny Galladay? Yeah, they missed Kenny Galladay today because that's a touchdown from the one that he missed with Cephas. But before that Cephas play where they end up throwing to him and the ball got deflected. Before that play, 2 or 3 plays before that, Matthew Stafford had DeAndre Swift on the Texas route for a touchdown. He didn't see him. Stafford sometimes get predetermined. He predetermines where you want to go with the ball at. He does. And it happened 2 times today that I can count. It happened on the Cephas play when he didn't check down to Swift for a touchdown, and it happened at the end of the game when Kendall Fuller, Kyle Fuller, whatever Fuller it is, got the pick. He stared down Marvin Jones. He didn't go through his progressions, and like I said before, man, the Bears ain't even the best team in this division on paper, and we couldn't even protect the 23-26 lead. But the positive is, I think they found the trick to run the ball, use a fullback. They did well protecting Stafford today. I think he got sacked once, maybe. And that's without Big V. They did a great job on Khalil Mack. And, pretty much that's it. And they didn't have Kenny Galladay. So if they had Kenny Galladay, it would have just been different, yeah, because all the coverage rolled to him. But I think Cephas is serviceable on the outside. I think they did find that out. But, it is what it is, man. It's tough being a Lions fan. That's why I didn't gloat to the Bears fans on my social media pages and text them like, we kicking y'all ass. At the end of the day, the Lions still invent new ways to lose the football game. And like I said before, man, that was a tough end of the game. I've seen that so many times. I mean, with Golden Tate knee dragging on the ground before it's a touchdown versus Atlanta to, Aaron Rodgers throwing it up, Hail Mary. I turn the game off, go to sleep, get up for work. I'll turn it back on. We lost the game. To DeAndre Swift dropping that pass, I'm like, it is what it is. We lost today 27-3. And we'll see, man, if Galladay can come back next week and be the difference or, what happens. But, hey, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to check out Motor City Sports Talk on all social media platforms. All my social media links in the description, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request, keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation to the channel, Cash App is CJGood313. PayPal link in the description. Other than that, don't forget to check out the channel while we're right here on YouTube, Goodfellas Sports TV. One time for the one time we gone.